So once you have data, either from a population or a sample, you need to know how you want to summarize the data. As an example, suppose you're interested in finding the proportion of people who like a candidate, the average height a plant grows to using a new fertilizer, or the variability of the test scores. Understanding how you want to summarize the data helps to determine the type of data you want to collect. Since the population is what we're interested in, then you would want to calculate a number from the population. This is known as a parameter. As mentioned already, you can't really collect data for the entire population. Even though this is the number you're interested in, you can't really calculate it most of the time. Instead, you use a number calculated from the sample, called a statistic, and that's used to estimate the parameter. Since no sample is exactly the same, the statistic values are going to be different from one sample to another. They estimate the value of the parameter, but again, you do not know for sure if your sample statistic is equal to the population parameter that it is trying to estimate. So as a picture, we've got this big group of all the objects that we're interested in that we call the population. Usually due to time, money, type constraints, we can't collect data for the entire population, so we collect data for a smaller portion of that called the sample. And within that sample, we have all of the objects that we actually collected data for, and each of those single objects is called an individual. So from each individual, we collect some piece of variable information. Once we collect that piece of variable information on each individual in the sample, from that we can compute a statistic. So that's a numeric summary of just the sample data, and we're going to use that to estimate this numerical quantity for the population.